you switch from a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, specifically the 6K Pro, to a Sony FX6? I'm gonna answer that question today. We got the FX6 in the studio. Really cool little camera. We had a shoot with it yesterday, so that's why I've got it here. I haven't used this camera too much, so I'm kind of coming from a, haven't used it too much, not too integrated with it kind of world view of this. I've only used it on a few events. We used it on a interview shoot yesterday, so we got to test it out a fair bit and see what it's up to and get to go hands-on with it. But I'm gonna kind of talk to you about the differences between this and a 6K Pro, which is actually what I'm shooting this on right now. The 6K Pro has been my daily driver for 2 years now, so I know it really well. I understand the camera really well and I love it. That being said, this is truly an amazing camera. First, I'm gonna talk about kind of the body style of the camera and the way it holds, the way it shoots and feels in your hand when you're shooting. And I'm gonna say that this is definitely a win over the 6K Pro. One thing I love about this camera is that kind of everything you have is right here and you don't need to add faceplate, cage, rods, V-mount plate. You don't need to do all that just because everything is right here in your hands. So, I mean, you do have a handle, you do have a side handle, but these things are so easy to change out and whatnot. And I love the way these come from factory. So like the top handle, for example, is just thumb screws on and off, which is really easy. You don't need any tools, it's super easy. And it just plugs right into the back here, so you can go ahead and record from your handle and you can put your monitor up here, and it's really nice and cool. The one thing I will say is that this monitor is really small, it's not touchscreen. The 6K Pro does have that. It has a big old nice LCD touchscreen that's really easy to use. But yeah, the handle's amazing. Comes with 2 XLR ports, which is just awesome. They're phantom power XLR ports, but the 6K Pro comes with 2 mini XLR ports. So, do what you must. And then on the side, you have the side handle that comes with it. And I really love the way this thing feels. If I just take the camera off the tripod here, it's like perfect. The way this side handle kind of goes on is kind of like the way you do a lens change almost. It feels like a little lens mount. So if I just release it here, line up the white dots like you would on a lens, and you go, and you get that nice little click like you would on a lens. So when it's on there, it doesn't wiggle, doesn't move. This is really, really nice. As for the 6K Pro, it kind of has the bulky on camera. It's just, it's like a photography camera, but this does feel a lot better. It's just, it's got the strap on there. You can kind of hang on to it and you kind of press record. You got the servo on there if you need it, and it just feels really solid. And while I'm holding this camera is freakishly light for what it is. On the body, obviously, you have all these different options just right at your fingertips. I haven't used this camera too much, so I'm still kind of learning my way around the camera, as in on the 6K Pro, I can just kind of boom, 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 boom. I know exactly what to do. There's not too many buttons, and the LCD is really easy to navigate. I feel once you get used to kind of setting your functions and really understanding and knowing the camera and where all the buttons are, I feel this could be better just because, it's right there. You don't have to like enter your menu. You can just be like, all right, boom, ND on, ND off. Change your ISO just with this little click right here, which is really awesome. And then back here, we've got a gold mount plate just right into the battery casing. So you don't need rods, you don't need a V-mount plate. It just goes right on the back here. You can use just internal, what are they, BP batteries? But if you want to shoot for a while, you're going to want some V-mount, gold mount action. As far as the body and functionality goes of how this looks and feels while you're shooting, I think this wins over the Blackmagic any day. As far as like big production goes, this is amazing. If it's run and gun, it's amazing. I guess that's a good segue into the run and gun type of thing. We got your ND filters here. So my Blackmagic 6K Pro obviously has built-in NDs that just zoop, zoop, zoop. Actually, I'll show you right now if you've ever seen it. I'm gonna go behind the camera and I'm literally just gonna add an ND. Boop. That's 1.2 stops, and then that's 1.8 stops, and then if you go again, it clears it. One thing about this camera that I thought was really fascinating and really cool is on the Blackmagic, when you're shooting and you kind of go inside from outside, you have to while recording, and it, you know, it's obvious, you know, you can't use that portion of the video. But this camera, it just chucks one ND on, and then it's variable from there. So it's an electronic ND, so it sends electric signals or something to the ND filter, and it changes the strength of it, and you can't really tell. It's not a plate moving back and forth. You do the initial one where you chuck the whole ND on, and then you can either adjust it from right here, manually adjust it, or you can just turn it on auto and it does it itself. So really quick, I'm gonna show you how the auto ND works and how well it works. So right now I'm outside. It's a sunny, partially cloudy day, but it's bright outside. And we're here at the studio. I'm gonna walk inside to kind of show you what this thing does. So now we go inside, and as you can see, it just slowly takes it off, which is awesome. So that is really cool. And now we're gonna head back into the studio. That is such a high selling point for this camera and something I really love about it. Another thing I really love about this camera is the fact that it's full frame. Obviously 6K Pro is Super 35 at 6K. If you crop down to 4K, it crops in quite a bit. And then if you go down from there, it crops in even more. So having this full frame sensor with full frame lenses is really cool, just because I love a wide look. And to get like a really wide look on a 6K Pro, you need like a 14 mil, 12 mil lens. But for this, I just got the 24 to 70 on right here. I think I have a 12 to 24 as well. 12 millimeters on this thing is crazy, but just a full frame 24. If you've ever used it, ever seen it, I really, really love it. It's perfect for talking heads, perfect for all that, you know, stuff where you want to see a lot and it's wide, but you can also get a shallow depth of field a little bit. So yeah, the full frame aspect is probably why I would choose this camera over the 6K Pro. As far as image quality goes, one thing that the 6K Pro just cannot do is dark situations. It just can't do them. It's hopeless. It has a dual native ISO of 8 and 3200. This one has a dual native ISO of, what is it, 800 and 32,000. So quite a big difference, but with the 6K Pro, it's hopeless when it comes to dark situations. There's probably gray night right now in the background that I'm gonna have to clean up later. So this definitely has the upper hand as far as dark situation goes and nighttime stuff goes. And I think that is massive for me. I used to shoot a lot of weddings. So, you know, at weddings, sometimes it's dark, and 6K Pro just can't do it, right? And you have to fix a lot in post, but this camera, it just bodies the dark. It takes that dark and it just makes it look buttery and clean. And that's something that is definitely a high selling point for all Sonys, but this camera, you know, versus the 6K Pro. It shoots 4K, up to 120 frames a second. At 120 frames a second, you'll get a little bit of a crop, but 4K 120, pretty awesome. I don't think the Blackmagic does that. I think it does 4K at 60. Not really impressive. This one does double that. So that's really cool to have that option. But as soon as you stop down, you can go to 240 frames per second in HD in this. So if you ever want that like super slow motion, you can totally do that with that camera, which I really love. So yeah, as far as image quality goes, I think this also beats the Blackmagic 6K Pro. Obviously, it's a more expensive camera. It just looks better, I reckon. Low light, very good. Highlight, very good. Its colors are very good. Its highlight roll off is very good. Its dynamic range, I think it has up to 13 stops of dynamic range. I forget what the Blackmagic claims to have, but I do feel this does have a bit more dynamic range than the Blackmagic. So, and yeah, just overall, this camera is amazing. I definitely think it's obviously an upgrade from the 6K Pro price point wise, but with the 6K Pro, like I said, you're gonna need to buy a cage, a base plate, rods, V-mount plate, V-mount, top handle. You're gonna need to like spend all that money anyways. So with my 6K Pro, it's $2,500 for the body, but I think I'm in, with the lens, I think I'm in like $4,500 on that thing. So, you know, for a few grand extra, I think this thing's like $6,500. You get everything that you need to start shooting. You get everything you need. You get the top handle, you get the side handle, you get all of it, and it's just such a good run and gun camera that looks amazing. Like, you wouldn't think that such a run and gun camera would be so user-friendly and also look amazing, and that's what this camera does. It's super user-friendly, it's easy to learn, it's easy to hold, it's easy to build, and it just comes with everything you need right from the case. Obviously, I have my gold mount plate here, but you can just use B mount batteries. But yeah, just everything about this camera I think is fascinating. I think I need to get my hands on the FX3 as well. It has continuous autofocus. It's got the, you know, you can flip your screen around and see what you're looking at. As my Blackmagic 6kPro, I have to go around and make sure my focus is good before I come out here. If this whole thing could be out of focus, I wouldn't know. As far as me, I think the upgrade to the FX6 is totally worth it. It's totally worth your time, worth your money, and yeah, just an all-around beautiful camera. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting, hope you found it informative, and you have a 6kPro and you're looking to upgrade, this is the camera to go with. Yeah, stay tuned for more videos. I really like doing these camera reviews and kind of looking at different cameras and what they can do and what they can offer. I think the next camera I'll try to review is the Red Komodo. We have one here, so stay tuned for that video. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, subscribe, like the video. I might post this to Instagram as well, maybe some shorts of it. So yeah, have a good one. Stay tuned for more videographer content. Peace.